Hello, welcome to my network. So basically, I feel like I have to come up with a debate of a couple of things, and I feel like the first time I spoke about it, it wasn't enough, so I figured I'd label it down so you all can see. And I entitled it today as Why Women Are Labeled. And I have the following categories that we're going to be talking about: orientation, labels, sexual discrimination, men's cover up. So basically, it just came about because there was another posting, and then you could check on the other posting that I wrote about on my YouTube about this guy calling our women part our remote control, and I had an opinion towards that. This is going to be a little further into it. So here we go. Orientation. Why are women labeled? A lot of times, they assume because you're not a certain way and everything, either you're not fit to be in part of society, you're something wrong with you if you're not with this person, if you've been single for long, and I'm talking from experience, and why you're not continuously dating or any stuff. And it goes straight into labels where they could label you either gay, bi, pansexual, a lot of times in a negative approach of everything. And I personally could say it's what we're going into a sexual discrimination at the same time, because because a woman wants to get her sex goals set and straight, because I think everyone should, even though it might not be 100% in today's world, doesn't necessarily mean she could be gay, or in other words, lesbian, because she's not walking around with another guy holding her hand around. Me personally, I'd never even had a girlfriend. I don't want a girlfriend. I don't find that attractive. That's not my circle. That's not who I desire. I prefer men. Ask any guy I've been with that I brought them home to my family to meet my family. So in any guy that I've spoken with, had a relationship with, I either held your hand, I embraced you, well, typical couple thing, you kissed, yada yada yada. But if after a while you see a girl that's actually running around, yes, sometimes that could happen, but there's a lot of cases, rare cases like mine, where we're labeled something that we're not, and it's not fair for us because we're good persons. And especially for someone like myself, that I do believe in God, the Trinity. And it, demolishes the fact that my belief makes me look like I'm something that I'm not. And I know that in the Bible, God made Adam and Eve. Not Adam and Adam and Steve. And that could be found in Genesis. But I still embrace everybody, and I love everybody, because everybody finds a way to God. And I don't discriminate nobody, not even the gays. Because sometimes they need that extra love and embrace. And I think that's why people think I'm so weird. Because I just go personally to every single person. And I embrace everybody. And I give them love, and that sometimes other people just avoid. Why? Because I see you as an individual. But my sexual orientation compared to how I treat people are totally two different things. So stop labeling people. It could jeopardize work relations and everything, which is not cool. At the same time of the matter, sometimes women are labeled because of maybe an ex-male's cover-up, or because in other words, or because one of your boyfriends have a girlfriend that's trying to make you look bad, make you labeled to be something so they could make themselves look like the queen when they're really not, because they're more of a devil than anything, because they're hurting somebody else that's not even trying to attack them. And at the same time of the matter, a man could be the biggest king hee-ho, what you call a male slut. And he's probably trying to cover up his tracks to make himself look good, because he has that goals that has accomplished, and they might the tracks might actually not live his religious, or into any stepping stone for work-wise. It might cause problems with him if they find, oh, this person was doing this and this and this. And, a lot of times we do these things, but you don't think about God. You don't pray first before you do something. Because honestly, if you're going to text somebody else, especially if you're going to move forward to something else, you have to pray about it. If the other person's getting attacked because of it, then that's not of God. I'm sorry. Whatsoever. And I'm a strong believer in that. You know? And when you try to label somebody that they're not, it's not cool. You know? And there's a lot of hatreds, especially if you did certain things for work purposes, and you still try to profess that you care about men. But just because the women, you also don't want to involve them in your vagina. You also have a right to have a remote control because, you know, technically it's supposed to be after you get married. But nowadays, I know we are a lot of females and we make mistakes along the way. But you have a right to withhold that from anybody. Because just because you don't want to give up, you don't want to love a certain person the way they want to be loved, because they don't fit with your criteria. They don't understand you. You're different, you're unique, and not everybody. If that was the case, everybody would have been with everybody since childhood. You know what I'm saying? But because everyone was made so uniquely different, everyone has their own pathway. And with that said, this labeling business has to stop because it's not fair for a lot of people. And I understand also, because I'm a heterosexual being, but I understand the misfits, like the gothic groups or the homosexuals or the gay groups, because a lot of times I understand you, and those like myself that are heterosexual and labeled something else, I understand your pain, but keep being yourself because you're not alone. God made you a specific way for a reason. And at the end of the day, people like myself will always embrace you. Just remember that every road will lead to God. And God is the one that will change and save people, not humans. And no matter what you're going through, the best bet is to fast and pray. And to let God know before man. Because man can lead you astray. But God, He's always faithful, no matter how hard your trials can be. So keep believing. And don't give up. Because God loves you too. Okay? God bless.